board and across Nigeria, it's time for our main conversation, and it's still Enterprise Morning. And we have with us in the house to do justice to this particular story, Emeka Madnago, who is a public affairs analyst and commentator. Good morning, Emeka Madnago.
Good morning,
Emeka, and thank you for joining us. Okay.
All right, so let's start with our main conversation now. And in the Nigerian stock market, 10 individuals now control 54% of the Nigerian Exchange Limited and GX capitalization, valued at 63 trillion naira. These high net worth individuals own top firms like Dangote Cement, Boa Foods, and MTN Nigeria, making up 57% of the market's total capitalization.
And the top three alone account for 31% of the market, raising concerns about increasing concentration risk. And companies like Boa Cement, Gergo, and Transcorp are also among the major players.
The dominance of these investors, including Abdul Samad Rabiu, Aliko Dangote, Tony Lumelu, and Femi Otedola, is growing, with recent listings like Aradel and anticipated ones like Dangote Refinery potentially reinforcing this trend.
And this concentration might or may crowd out smaller stocks, negatively impacting retail investors and benefiting wealthy individuals. In 2024, the NGX saw significant gains, with the all-share index rising 37% and the market capitalization increasing by 22 trillion naira.
However, much of these gains were captured by the top 10 individuals. Analysts warn that this concentration could stifle competition, reduce liquidity, and increase systemic risk.
And calls for policies encouraging broader market participation and supporting mid-cap and small-cap companies have emerged to balance this trend and ensure the market's long-term health.
Very well. So let's have a conversation, Emeka. This brings my mind, back to, those history, class days where we talked about the Berlin Conference of 1884. Where Africa was deciphered and pieced, and every European country just took their share. So don't you think that is what is happening today with Nigeria?
No, thank you very much. No, I don't think so. The stock exchange is a platform for trading. That's the capital market. So you would expect that people who have a healthy appetite for risk will put their money there. And the kind of people who have a healthy appetite are usually high net worth individuals, not people like you and me, who have whose battle with daily survival, paying bills, is a major issue. For those ones, paying bills, school fees, battling, all those things, they've gone beyond that. There's 1% of the population that is a closely knit, tightly knit family, and they don't easily admit other people into that closely knit, and that's the way it is in the world. The 1% of the global population controls, a large percentage of the wealth of the world. So when you look at this, it just shows that these people have a healthy appetite for risk. And while right now the market is doing very well, because of certain fundamentals in the economy, monetary policy, fiscal policy, the high interest rates. So a lot of people who have some extra cash are putting money into, different instruments, treasury bills, bonds, and all of that.
I think it's not facade.
No. That's what I said. If you permit me to use this word, it's like a kalu market.
Okay.
You get when you go into the sector that has, in fact, every sector of business, has the element of risk. But the risk varies. So investing in what you cannot directly control is very risky. But the thing is that these guys are big guys. They founded these companies and took those companies to the stock market.
Okay.
Which many Nigerians will not do. Because like the governor, former CBN governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo said, Nigerians generally prefer to own 100% of nothing rather than 10% of something. Now these guys, owning 10% of something is much, because it gives them levers of control. Don't forget, there are also institutional investors. So some of them have shares directly, and then they also own stakes through institutional investors. So any which way, they're in control of those listed quoted companies, and that puts them in pole position.
Okay, now let's talk about the regulatory policies, because now operators argue that certain regulatory policies may have unintentionally increased the dominance of these tier 1 investors. Now, if they are unintentionally even influencing the regulatory policies, what is the hope for poor and upcoming investors or Nigerians in this case?
Wow, that is a hard nut to crack, because you see, out of the back of my mind what happened in 2008. There were a lot of people who put money into shares and all of that, and then you had the global economic crisis of 2008. Our banks were spared because the then CBN governor already, put in place the capitalization that saved banks. Many banks would have just disappeared. Bankers would have just run away. They would just abandon their offices and just fled. Because customers' rage would have been so much. It happened in many countries now. Some billionaires committed suicide when their money just vanished before their eyes. So yes, the current administration has been trying different methods, to balance the problem of payments, to sort out our debts and all of that, and to increase our foreign reserves. But you see, all in all, these things have inadvertently created opportunities for people with a lot of spare cash, to invest. And people have easy access to credit, maybe from their banks, from the banks they control, maybe from subsidiaries abroad, where you have in countries where interest rate is low, so where inflation is low, maybe 1.5%. So if you borrow money at single digit, in any of these countries abroad, let's say China for instance, if you borrow money and bring it to Nigeria, where inflation is in double digits, where interest rate is in double digits, you make a killing now. If you decide not to invest in anything, just go to the stock market and pump money into it. Of course, you will make a killing. Just wait. Once, as just watch the CBN's MPC meeting, Monetary Policy Committee meeting. Of course, like throughout last year, the interest rates were just on an upward trajectory. So just wait. Once they announce that yes, interest rates have been hiked again, that's money for you. It will positively affect the market. And if the sentiment around the economy are such that encourage healthy movements in the capital market, of course you make your money. But that's why you see it's very important for leaders to be careful about the things they say, because one wrong statement can actually crash the market, can bring the market down. One wrong statement. So that is why it's necessary, to watch these markets closely. Now, regulatory policies are very, very important, because if you allow just 10 individuals to control 63 trillion capitalization, that is dangerous. You might say it's good for the economy, but by the way, how much of that money is being deployed into the economy? Because basically, it's good that their shares are doing very well. But again, where are the ordinary investors? Exactly. The ordinary people.
Yeah.
So it's not like money, the same money is being recycled.
Yeah, because this brings me to new liberalism, where we put our money in the hands of a very few. Conversely, in the United States, for example, primary school children, secondary school children are encouraged early in their lives to buy shares, because of course they believe that such shares bought at an early stage, at their late 20s and all. It's something. In Nigeria, the case is different. I remember buying shares in the early 2000s, and about 18 to 20 years after, I can't even account for the shares. In fact, it's so low that I can't even do anything with it any longer. But when we have a situation like we have today in Nigeria, where 62 trillion is in the hands of a very few, just like you said, don't you think this is an implosion waiting for us?
Well, if the market, if the operators, if the NGX operators are sincere and they are careful, there might not be a problem. Right now, globally, the global economy is just at a moderate level. Things are still, inflation is not, so bad. Forget about what Nigerian government officials will tell you, there's inflation everywhere. What kind of inflation? Where, for instance, in some countries like the UK, the UK will tell you, no, you have to, do away with the vehicles that emit that, that are fossil fuel driven, petrol, diesel, and all that. But in the UK, a lot of people use diesel cars. How about that? A lot of people use diesel cars. The appetite for electric vehicles is low in the UK.
Yeah.
The United States have been trying to compete with China in that area, and they can't get there because China is clearly ahead in electric vehicles. So there's a lot of, so it's all about also information. What kind of information is available to Nigerians? I did that at the time. There was a time I encouraged people to buy shares and all of that, and I burnt my fingers. A lot of those people burn their fingers. So I, for one, wouldn't do such a thing again. What I would advise people is diversify your portfolio. Like I would advise, say, okay, for instance, take all your money and put into real estate. But I would say put some in real estate, maybe put some in agriculture, maybe put some in this, put some into also investing in yourself, improving yourself, because that's part of investment which people don't look at. A lot of people don't look at. Look at your areas of interest. If it's in real estate, do you understand the fundamentals of real estate? Do you understand, when there is an opportunity, will you be among maybe the few that recognize it and move fast enough? Then talking about, different areas. There's the money market, there's the capital market, there are treasury bills, there are bonds, and all of those things. But it's not enough. When you talk about, little children being encouraged, there's also financial education. It follows it. But what we know is, okay, somebody just comes on there to say, we are bringing out, we are selling maybe 100 hectares in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We are going to build hotels, we are going to blah, 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 blah. It will give you money and all of that. A lot of people go and invest, but they don't understand. They don't have a financial education to understand that these things this benefit may take time. Now, at the end of the day, they will blame the people who sold those things to them. Whereas it wasn't like that. It is up to you. Nobody took money from you at one point. They only just marketed something to you. But for you to go back and engage in financial education, check these things. So a situation where you see 10 individuals owning these things, controlling over 50%, it tells you that the regulators need to look again at these things so that they don't hold the economy hostage. So that we don't find a situation whereby if any of them has any issues, maybe mergers, maybe business doesn't work well, it will pull the market down. It's dangerous.
Okay. Talking about pulling the market down now, an independent investor, Amici Igbo, has said that diversifying the market to include more mid-cap and small cap companies is critical for long-term sustainability. Now, balancing the contribution of these titans with policies that encourage wider participation will be essential for the NGX future. Now, it's one thing for them to accept for there to be balance. It is another thing for people that want to come into events, because these men now are not like the titans and they're the cabals. Will they be open to accept people to come in? Because now it's as though they are now in the open. And this is one thing a lot of Nigerians don't know over the years, but all of a sudden in 2025, it's in the open now, and they're knowing, okay, how it's being regulated, how the policies are being influenced, and how they're staying on top and afloat. what is the future importance for small companies to come in, and how well can they be able to penetrate?
You see, let's just face facts. Nigerians, like what Henry talked about, on the wings of that, many Nigerians are not investing in stocks, especially bank shares. Many Nigerians are not investing in them. So it's still the same guys who are mobilizing resources from here and there. So right now they're still in control. It's only the regulators who can determine, how far they can be allowed to go. Small investors putting in money there is a big risk because your shares can be diluted. It's not a criminal thing. Your shares can be diluted. You are playing in an industry of big guys. Everybody may call them sharks. And like one Indian man was telling me that how can you're just you're just one small fish and you're playing in an industry of sharks. They will eat you for dinner. That's it, nothing happened. So the thing is that the regulators need to, what that expert said is very right, the regulators need to look at these things to make sure that someone doesn't bring, for instance, 500,000 or 5 million put into stocks, and then at the end of the day everything gets diluted and all that investment dips. They have to watch market sentiment and take necessary steps to encourage lower, smaller investors to put in money. Otherwise, it will now become, a control of the cabal. It will now be a market of the cabals, and that's very dangerous because you see, last year there was one story that trended. Was it last year or the year before last? A story that trended. Two of the guys mentioned, were trying to outplay each other concerning one of the businesses mentioned. And then at the end of the day, one outsmarted the other one. Now, things like that, when there is a corporate tussle, it can actually affect the market. Because one person can just pull out his money. It's okay, fine, you outsmarted me, all right, let's see how it goes. And then remove his money. Remove institutional investors. Of course, that many of the so-called foreign investors that the Buhari administration have said they brought are actually like what they call portfolio investors, briefcase investors. They just bring in money, go to the stock exchange, dump money there, and be watching, when it's like, they just pull out the money and disappear. And the next thing there's been a run on the market, so. So you see, the regulator should go beyond just churning out figures. The NGS is doing well, this and that and the other. You have to look long term, just like that expert said. You have to look long term. Because when these guys remove their money, it is the ordinary investors that will still be left there. It's the ordinary investors that will be left to carry the can.
Which obviously are the real investors, actually, if we look at it very critically. But meanwhile, let's take a look at another story. Nigeria faces a moderate risk of human metapneumovirus, that's a HMPV, a respiratory virus causing mild to severe infections, especially in young children, older adults, and immunocompromised individuals. So let's look at this particular matter, Emeka. There we have it again from China, yet again
and
from
the
China.
beginning of the new year.
Beginning of the new year. Is this not carefully curated to just put the world in one place of wahala? I just hope they included that into the Oxford dictionary. Yeah, we're talking about Oxford dictionary, including some Nigerian slang, Japa, Agbero.
No, the derivative of wahala is actually palava.
Oh, palava.
Okay. Is a court
Yes.
where trade disputes are settled.
Oh, wow.
So, but of course, in Nigeria, we form our own.
All right. So, just to ask, don't you think this is another palava and wahala that the world, or whoever it is that's running the world, is curating just to put us in one particular place with all of this virus here and there?
You know the interesting thing? This thing is coming up. It's just history repeating itself. You remember what happened in 2020? We had Donald Trump telling us that nothing like that. Where are we today? Donald Trump is coming in again, and this virus is coming in again. So what is going on? The big powers are just playing games with us. That's all I'm saying. the big powers of the world are playing games with us, and it's sad, that we are in a vulnerable situation, because our health institutions are, basically immunocompromised. Their immune systems are not very strong. We are talking of individuals with compromised immune system. What about the institutions? They are not strong. We still depend on aid from these big powers, from foreign countries. And that is why we keep borrowing, because we get aid, so much aid. Last year, the top 3 beneficiaries of aid from the UK were Ukraine, 1, Nigeria 2, Afghanistan 3. So we keep getting aid, but where is the money going to? How many health institutions in Nigeria, at the state level, at the local government level, have actually adopted all the principles around primary health care? How many are able to take care of it? That's why Lagos, when you had the Ebola, Lagos state government was able to quickly contain it. Then we had COVID-19. Lagos state government also led the way, because of course it had strengthened its primary health care institution. So it's been easy to reach out to the grassroots, because that is very critical. Too often, you find out in many states, is basically the urban centers, those elite areas, those areas where the elite state that you have, all those big private hospitals and the rest of them that have equipment and all of that. But the ordinary people in the rural areas are left to their own fate, and that is where the danger is. That's why you see some things like yellow fever, you see guinea worm, you see meningitis. That's why you see these things spread so fast. Because once they make a landfall in the rural areas, and there is no existing, response system, quick response mechanism, it becomes a wildfire. And so, year after year, we've been said that state governments, local governments should prioritize primary health care. It's not right. You go to any teaching hospital in Nigeria now, you see people coming, to complain about malaria, coming to complain about headache, about cough. It should not be. These people, and yet they will admit them. But those centers are actually supposed to be tertiary centers of excellence, where there's more of research. But those people handling on things like this should actually be primary healthcare centers. The secondary healthcare centers, like the general hospitals, those should handle those things like vaccination and all of that. Are we on target in terms of vaccination, in terms of, all of the things that are necessary to make sure we can have a quick response? You have the issue of power supply. With vaccines, how do you store them in the rural areas? Even in the urban centers, there are semi-urban centers that are not actually covered with regular power supply. So when you have all those loopholes, that's why we have reason to be afraid. But I can assure you that definitely, the entry points, one of the entry points is Lagos. I believe that the Lagos state government will be up to it. But
are you sure the Lagos state government will be up to it in a country where we lack data and they can't even tell who is coming in and who is going out?
No, I will tell you something. Many foreigners are coming into Nigeria. I have a relative who came in some days ago, and he said that there was an exclusive line for expatriates. So many. I said, what are these people coming? Nigerians are running away. But so many of these people keep coming in. There's somebody now told him that these people are coming to mop up lands for agriculture. That they are coming in to mop up lands. That's why I see there's something that is circulating. One write-up by one expert, he's a consultant to Lagos State government on tax. He said that one of the areas where a lot of people concentrated during the U-time period was Eko Atlantic City. He mentioned something that Eko Hotel had the highest bookings. Then I also heard, I was at the airport yesterday, I heard that this last U-time, that airlines were just going, coming, taking off, landing, taking off. The flight, even at 350, 400,000 one way, people were still buying tickets because the roads are not safe. So many people were buying. So the thing is this, why I say Lagos State government, because Lagos State government over the years had actually done a lot of work. You know, if you remember not too long ago when we had the issue of gastroenteritis, you know, that was able to get into the markets, you know, and continue. So now I believe Lagos is one of the entry points, you know, with the airports and the seaports and the land borders. So I want to believe that Lagos State government, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health and development partners and local governments, you know, I believe they must have mapped out. They have a team. They have a team that, you know, constantly, you know, work on this. And if you remember, late last year, the Nigerian Governors Forum actually addressed health as one of the issues. Then this issue of open defecation is another challenge, you know, which I hope that states can actually just deal with it decisively, build more public toilets so that people don't have to defecate on the expressway, you know, and then regulate, bring back, people have done bringing back sanitary inspectors, that Yoruba is called you know, bring back sanitary inspectors, let them go into the markets. Let them go to places where fruits are sold, food stuff and all that, and see, you know, and make sure that people's health is not being compromised by unscrupulous, you know, vendors. With all of this, you know, we'll definitely be able to contain any virus.
Well, I just really hope everything would work, especially when obviously we do not have water. You know, there's no water source from anywhere.
Sure.
You know, back in the days in the 80s, you know, we had the water source from a particular place, water board.
Yeah.
So then you go to almost every house. Then you know, you hardly find a borehole because everyone was connected to a particular source. So and then the issues of you know, communicable disease was minimal.
Yeah.
You know, but now we all have boreholes in our houses, and the government feel they do not owe us anything, unfortunately. But that's the situation we find ourselves. Thank you so very much, Emeka.
Thank you so much.
Yes. All right, that's just about the time we have, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all we can take for now. I want to say a very big thank you for every one of you who have tuned in and joined us in today's section. And do also visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com or follow us across our social media handles at Enterprise TV7. So we'll come your way again tomorrow. I'm Choma Uko here.
And I am Henry Igwebike. I'll ask you to please do stay safe.
Yeah.
Bye-bye from us.